Hello, this is Dr. Tracy Smalls Marshall, and welcome to The Deep. Today, I have my brother Vincent Smalls joining us today, talking about reintegrating into society after being incarcerated for close to 25 years, not consecutively, but combined. And so we talked about the social emotional. We talked about how does it feel to navigate back into society? How does it feel in terms of social skills, social awareness, looking for that support from your family or friends? And then how can you be a support for yourself? But now we're going to just kind of unravel some things and kind of tap into the relational piece in terms of relationships. Now, relationships, you can have different types of relationships. We talked to Vincent about reintegrating back into his children's lives and being back into society with his family, the loss of our mom while he was incarcerated. How is he digging through those types of emotions? But when I say relationships, I'm talking about more of an intimacy. And how does he feel about that? He's been released from prison for close to 1 year. He was released April 2022. And so just wanted to talk to you, Vincent, today to see your thoughts of how are you feeling. I know you, as you stated on another platform, you have 6 children. You have many, many grandchildren, great-grandchildren. But when it comes to relationships, I know you've been married a few times. What are your thoughts in terms of engaging in a relationship at this time?
At this time, I think most of my energy and time is to try to build a relationship with my children and grandchildren.
Okay.
Who obviously don't know me. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the biggest concerns I had coming out of prison. How would they accept me, or if they would embrace me? And for whatever reason, they have. Each one of my children and my grandchildren, they love me. They like to see me, like me to be around. And I couldn't ask for anything better than that. My sisters, my brother, my nieces and nephews. It's been a warm and humble experience to have genuine love when it comes from your family and friends too. People I have met along the way in my journey have been very supportive and guiding me, giving me good direction, resources and things of that nature. Now, as far as an intimate relationship, I haven't gotten involved in a relationship. I think for me, I have to get to know me, and and part of me knowing me, I had to remove a lot of rough edges or be ready for a relationship. See if my relationship with my children, if that's solid. Those things are what's most important to me right now in this stage of my life. Right now, I haven't considered a relationship. I'm just not ready, and I think I would be more detrimental in a relationship because I haven't been out long enough to even know myself, to live on my own. So that's the hurdle that I deal with as far as not being in a relationship, and it doesn't bother me.
I think that's great. I think when you talked about your children, your grandchildren, and them embracing you and your extended family, I think it's a thing called grace, and we all need it, and we all need to be able to lend that to one another. So grace is so important. I mean, it's just like just should be enormous, and if more of us would practice that, that would be wonderful. So it is a blessing that they are embracing you. And then in terms of an intimate relationship, I think that's powerful that you want to work on yourself, and I think that should be vital for anybody, whether you are physically incarcerated or not. Being able to know who we are, and sometimes we do things haphazardly or hastily. We'll make a decision or jump in a relationship because we feel like that's the thing to do, that's the norm to be with someone in a relationship. But I think it's important for me as your sister to hear you say that that's a level of growth, that you're saying that you're willing to take a pause to check, to do a self check for you to check your own emotional pulse, because I think so many times we'll just dive into something and we're not ready, and we know we're not ready, and then we bring other people into our trauma and our drama, and it just doesn't work out for either end. And so I think that's very important. It's very wonderful to hear you say that. I think that's a very spiritually mature and emotionally mature move to put a pause on it. And I think what I want to say and just suggest is to offer you to take the necessary steps for yourself, your emotional well-being and mental well-being, and to continue to build those relationships with your children and grandchildren. So, yes, thank you. So this is Dr. Tracy Smalls Marshall and her big brother, again, Vincent. Again, this is all just informative information about those coming back into society. How can we embrace them? What can we do? Where's the church? We can start having church families coming and talking, or those spiritual leaders, individuals coming in. And I know right now the churches are struggling because of the pandemic, and people are doing church online or whatever your level of faith is. But I think if we get into a body of strong leaders and spiritual leaders to guide individuals reintegrating into society, to help them as much as we can, because at the end of the day, another video Vincent said, it's a willingness on their part, but to implement as much as we can mental health services, talk about resources, housing, employment, transportation, trying to help them navigate as much as we can so they will not reoffend. Because if they're reoffending or if they're committing crime, they're in our communities. And what can we do to further save our community? And I don't care where you live. If you live in the suburbs, if the Bible says if your brother or sister is suffering, I mean, we need to bear one another's burdens. So just think about that. And that doesn't mean to a point where you are being handicapping someone. So you know your own strength and the situation that you may be in or may want to consider. But I think we all need a helping hand in some way along this journey called life. Again, thank you for joining us.